Hello and welcome, everybody. It's Monday today, and you know what that means. Give me a word that starts with an M and ends with a Y. You got 15 seconds. Hello, everybody. Happy Monday to everybody out there. Hope you guys had a wonderful and profitable weekend here with March Madness. Games of 64 and 32 behind us. We are moving on. As you can tell on the screen here, catching cash in the Discord, we had a fantastic March Madness. Overall, unofficially going 53 and 43, officially going 10 and 7, and our best bets went 3 and 1. A couple of great games out there, but no, overall it was a fantastic weekend. We were live in the chat on Friday. It was a great time. We had a great weekend of March Madness, and it all starts back up on Thursday. But again, for anybody, if this is your first time tuning in, hello and welcome to the show. My name is Chris, aka Saggy Bills. We're here about 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays, 12:30 Central, to give you a little bit of knowledge of what goes on in our head and kind of give it to you guys out there as well. Today's plan is going to be kind of a little bit of a mixture of two things. We're going to go over not much time. We're going to go over March Madness a little bit, just go to a little bit of a review of March Madness, and then we're going to do a little bit of NBA plays, and then we're going to end it with an NBA parlay. All right. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. While we're reviewing March Madness, I'm just going to have I'll have this up on the screen for you guys. Let's see here. Yep. So just a little recap again for March Madness. We best bets. So we do a best bet every day for college basketball. They went 3 and 1, 10 and 6 on our official plays that we sent. And that went up 4.23 units in the first 2 rounds, which was great. And then our unofficial plays, which for every game and every slate, we basically sent in our main chat in Discord, and then we sent it in Twitter a couple of times, maybe on a Friday or Saturday. It was basically our spreads and over-unders, what we had or what we liked to play. And again, we said these are all unofficial. We're not going to track any of these, but these did unofficially go 53 and 43. So if you were to be playing those, 1 unit a piece, you would have went up, about 10 units, which is pretty cool. So March Madness, again, is starting back up on Thursday. And as you can see, I have the Doink screen pulled up for you guys. If any of you are interested in what I'm looking at here later on during the stream, we're going to be using this for our NBA props. This is our Doink service. We use these guys I use them for about 60% of my research that I use every day. And we have a code at the bottom. Oh, wait, we have a code. Hold on. We should. Okay, there we go. Code underneath my name right there. Referral code CASH. You get your first month free. Try it out. If you hate it, so what? Unsubscribe. But I promise you one thing, you won't. And then every month after that is $9.99. So you can tell these guys already have their March Madness up for their spreads, over-unders. You got Clemson, Arizona playing on Thursday at 6. You got UNC and Alabama playing Thursday at 8:30. Clemson, Arizona spread. We got Clemson opening up at +7 for this UNC Alabama game. We got UNC opening up at -4. And then Thursday on the other side, on the east side, we have Illinois and Iowa. We got Illinois opening up at +2. And then on Friday, we have NC State and Marquette. NC State opening up at +6.5 to Marquette. Then we got Purdue and Gonzaga. Purdue opening up at -5.5 to Purdue. And then we have Creighton and Tennessee. And we have Creighton opening up at +3. So we won't be looking into this very much today. What we're going to do is our Wednesday stream that we have on Wednesday. We actually might have a special guest on Wednesday as well, too. Sprinkle in a little special guest, so stay tuned for that as well. And then we'll be also going over, Wednesday will mainly be a March Madness day. We'll be going over all these games, and I'll be giving you guys what I think is going to be happening throughout March Madness. All right. Well, without further ado, let me pull this up right here. We're going to get started into NBA Discord. All right. NBA. That's a completely switch gears. I hate to even do it because March Madness is just such a, in my opinion, March Madness is such a hot topic. There's just so much surrounding it and so much going around it, and it's just a lot of fun. But we got to provide every day, and so today we got the NBA. I took off on maybe Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I usually don't do much in NBA, but I took off on NBA. I said I didn't like where I started the month really well, and then the last week or so I had gotten absolutely destroyed. I was also kind of keeping up with other guys that do normally do pretty well in the NBA. Everybody was getting kind of destroyed. A couple guys were holding strong, but there's flips. I always say it. I learned, I read a book and it was like this guy, Billy Walters, the OG of sports gambling. He pretty much said, you always got to be looking for the next edge. You always got to be switching up and finding a new variance, a new variable. And it had switched on us. And so I decided, you know what, let's take some time off. But today I started looking at some stuff this morning, but I think I found a few good leads. So a lot of things to note here with the NBA. I'm going to pull it up and just show you guys. Let's see. ESPN NBA rankings. So one of our partners mentioned this morning. Oh, that's player rankings. One of my partners mentioned this morning. He said, okay, whenever you're looking at NBA today, make sure and check out the standings for everything because we're getting to that time of the year where games really matter. Teams, I'm going to air quote this, teams have to win. And so that's another variance we have to start taking into play is what teams need to win, what teams don't need to win, what teams are out there just like the Pistons are out there just to shit stuff away. You have the teams like the Wizards, like how are they going to play against whenever they play Boston or Milwaukee or Cleveland, whoever they play? How is Cleveland going to show up whenever they play a team like Charlotte, who they play tonight? How are the Knicks going to show up in a must-win game? Because if you look right here, you got, and I'm using the Cleveland Knicks as an example because these are two of my picks that I chose, but you got Cleveland and the Knicks. They're half a game out of third and fourth place. They are 2 or 4 games out. I don't know how that reads. I think 2 games out of being out of the top 6. So, top 6 make the playoffs. 7, 8, 9, 10 are in the play-in. So 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th seed in the Eastern Conference is nowhere close locked up. The Cavs have also lost how many? 3 in a row. Had they lost to shit teams? Had they lost to good teams? I don't know. We'll find out. Same with the Knicks. The Knicks have won in a row. The Knicks lost to OG. So, the Knicks, they had to make some moves here. And so that was the pick that I went with the Knicks. We'll get to that in a second, is kind of a pick that, I'm not going to lie, I kind of love. But we're going to start with the Cavs and Charlotte. And we're going to go down. Oh, wait, no, this one wasn't a prop. This one was the Cavs. And this one was their spread. I don't do much spreads. I mainly do props, but I am going to get with our guy that does spreads after this and give him, we kind of talked a little bit about it earlier, but Cleveland, I'm going to say, is kind of in a must-win game because if Cleveland loses and the Knicks win, the Knicks are going to jump a game. Our Knicks are going to jump a half game up on Cleveland. That's going to drop Cleveland down to 4. And then now they're going to be just a half game behind the Magic. And then you got the Pacers also playing tonight too, I think. Yeah, you do. The Pacers are playing the Clippers tonight. So Cleveland is in a game where they're like, you got to win. And so this morning, whenever I'm looking at this, I said they're playing the Hornets. The Hornets have nothing to play for. They're 17-53. Injuries, it's the same guy, balls out, all the guys. It's just Trey Mann, Brandon Miller, Grant Williams. They're not really injured, but again, what are they playing for? What do they have to play for? Well, not much, in my opinion. Cleveland has a lot. They need to stay where they're at right now to have it a little bit as sweat-free as possible. So if you look at it right here, Cleveland spread opening up at minus 11.5. Whenever they're at home, they're 47% covering. Whenever they're favored, they're 45%. But one thing about Cleveland, the last 3 games that was pointed out to me this morning is that they played Miami, who's good. They played Minnesota, and they played Miami. 3 good teams, and they lost by 37, 13, and 3. 3-game skid that dropped them down in the rankings. Again, we're going back to it's the time of the season where guys are going to have to step up no matter what. They're on a 3-game skid. Somebody's going to have to step up in this game and say, okay, I'm taking the bull by the horns. I'm taking it and let's go. And I think it's coming off of a 3-game losing streak. This is a perfect opportunity for Cleveland to capitalize on a big-time game. Start the week out right by destroying an opponent like Charlotte, who, in my opinion, deserves to get beat bad. And so, again, that I'm not going to put it up on the ticker, but that was kind of the one thing I looked into in the Cleveland game. If you were looking at the Cavs spread, I like it. I like the Cavs to beat the Hornets by 12. I can see it very well them winning by 10 at halftime and the game blows out in the third and the Cavs don't play anymore in the fourth. I mean, Charlotte, they just, there's no reason for them to come up into this game and step up. The only thing that has me a little bit timid is that Cleveland is on 0 days rest. But if you look here on 0 days rest, they're 9-6. They're at a 60% record. So again, we bet on the plus 50% side, and this is at 60. So that variable doesn't really affect us too much. And Charlotte, again, look at their last 4 games. Lost by 41, by 20, by 11, and by 11. So, I like Cleveland, minus 11. I'm not going to officially play it or anything like that. I might put it in Discord, but I just kind of wanted to point it out for anybody that was interested in spreads. It's March Madness. March Madness got me interested in the spreads more, so I was looking at a lot of spreads for March Madness. I saw this Cleveland one, and I kind of liked it. So that's kind of why it's the buzz. It's the March Madness buzz. But I'm going to go ahead and type this in at the bottom, even though I said I wouldn't. I do like it. It's just the buzz. There's something in the air right now. All right. And again, for anybody that's just tuning in, or this is maybe your first time, my name is Chris, a.k.a. Saggy Bills, and I'm with Catch and Cash. If you don't already, follow us on Discord, Twitter. We send plays 5 to 7 days a week across every single major sport. MLB starts up on Thursday. There's like 15 or 16 games. We're going to be locked and loaded to go for that on Thursday. Again, it's a good time. NBA is starting to slow down. Also, another thing I want to throw about NBA, as I mentioned, it's starting to slow down. I am personally dropping my unit size a tad bit, probably for the rest of the season for NBA as well, just because we're kind of at that part in the season. I can start to push more bankroll structure into MLB. I pushed a little bit into March Madness and did fine. And so with NHL and NBA starting to really slow down and get to that end of the season where it's a kind of a toss-up on what's going to happen, I would personally recommend dropping your unit size just a tad bit. If you normally bet 100, maybe do 75. If you normally bet 50, maybe do 35. If you do 25, maybe do 15. Just drop it a little bit because, again, these are a little bit more of other stuff can happen here that we cannot control. Well, let's move into the second pick. I got on my paper here. Oh, this was – so I don't think I'm going to probably won't have an NBA best play. I don't know, but if I were to have one, it's going to be it would probably be this guy right here for the Knicks. I found this looking this morning. Miles McBride. So obviously with the Knicks, you had OG that got hurt a little while ago. And since then, it seems as though the Knicks have been trying to find a way, 7, 13, and 12. So they've been winning, but I was reading an article from a local journalist. I think it was called maybe the Manhattan something or something like that. It was an article this morning. And it was basically the head coach was talking, and he was talking very highly of, he kind of quoted this guy's Miles McBride. And he said, this is the kind of the guy who went from basically nothing to everything. And you can see what we're talking about here. So let's see here. So since a newbie's been hurt, so let's just say early February, his minutes, points, and everything, it's just been all over the place. 20, 31, 11, 5, 32, 17, 17, 10, 40, 22. So that's where we get to, February, this is where it started. So February 27th. So Coach mentioned at the end of February, going into early March, is whenever he really started to, I'm going to say, take stride with this Miles McBride guy. And as you can tell, this is where it happened. So on the 27th of February, he played 40 minutes. He only scored 10 points, but note his minutes: 40, 22, 46, 19, 47, 44, 48. So I said, okay, there was a 10-day gap here between the 8th and the 18th. I didn't see if he didn't play. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go back into it and look a little bit more, but I noticed this 10-day gap. And while I was just kind of going through everything, I said, okay, let me take his field goals, FGAs, his last 3 games, 13, 9, and 16. I know I got 12.6, but 13 plus 9 plus 16, 38 divided by 3, 12.6. So I got 12.6, and so I did that. And then I did his shots made, and I said, okay, well, whenever you do 12.6 and you take his shots made, he's making about 7 shots a game right now in his last 3 games, and he's playing 40-plus minutes. That's kind of crazy. Then I go look at his free throws, and I say, okay, one game he shot 6, one game he shot 2, one game he shot 2. Okay, well, he's going to give me 2. He'll give me 2. So he's going to get to the line once, right? So he's going to get to the line once. Well, then I'll look at his three-pointers. He shot it 9 times. He shot it 5 times. He shot it 12 times. Okay, well, that tells me another thing. He made 6, he made 1, and he made 6. So I'm going to not be greedy, and I'll just take him for 1. Okay, I'll just take him for 1. Even though he made 6, 2 out of the last 3 games, I'm going to still take him for 1. So that's 7 shots. That's 7 2-pointers. Or that's 6 2-pointers and 1 3-pointer. So that's 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15 points, right? 2 free throws. Or he's going to get to the line once. He went 5 and 6 and 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. So 2 free throws. That brings my total to 15, 16, 17. So in the last 3 games, he's averaging he's looking at about 17 points tonight. If you take his bare minimum, bare minimum, if he doesn't do like he did on the 19th and shoot and make 9 shots, if he doesn't do like he did a couple days ago and make 9 shots, if he doesn't make 6 threes, and if he doesn't make 6 threes, he still hits. Now, another thing that I just noticed, I took it at 14. I can't lie. I'm not going to lie. I'm already in at 14 and a half. I've already placed my bet on it. You can still get it right now on BetESPN for 14. No, okay, FanDuel still has him too. So you can still get him on FanDuel for 14 and a half at minus 128 if you want to play the juice. In my opinion, I've already played the bet. Again, I'm probably not going to have any best bets. I might talk it over with a colleague, and maybe we do eventually decide to make this a best bet today. But this is 100% a bet that I'm going to play, and I freaking love it. I love it. I love that Miles McBride has kind of just 18th, 21st, and the 23rd. He just came off the bench, and he said, all right, coach, give me the ball. Because this is where we go back to what I mentioned at the very beginning, if you're paying attention. At the very beginning, I'm going to revert back to this screen. This is important. These are teams that need to win. Cleveland, Knicks, Magic, Pacers. Cleveland, Knicks, and the Pacers are all playing tonight. I've already got the Cleveland spread at minus 11. They've got to win this game. Same with the Knicks. The Knicks have to win this game. And in the last 3 days, Miles McBride has not only been the guy, he's also – another thing I've also forgot to note too, he's also started. He took a starting role. He took a starting role on the 18th. The coaches just said, fuck it, we'll put him in his play, and he's rode with it. So I'm riding with him. So we're going to put that one in. That's 14 and a half, Miles McBride. And you can find that one on FanDuel. Over 14.5 points. Excuse me. All right. Next one. So that's Miles McBride, point guard. You might have to scroll down to find him a little bit. Point guard for the Knicks, and it's minus 128 right now. It's probably going to move to 15.5 before the end of the day. I can guarantee it, before the game starts. All right, next pick. We got – oh, I liked this one too. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but this was another one that I liked. Terrence Mann. Now, I liked it this morning. So you got the Clippers and the Pacers. So let's go. So I was on this screen. So here, right here, I have the Doink screen. So we got Clippers and Pacers. We got the Clippers opening up at -6. So first thing we do, we go to our ESPN screen right here. We got to check and see who needs to win. So the Pacers, they're on the bubble to be at automatic in. So, yeah, they've got to win. So let's see. We're going down. We're going down. Let's find where the Clippers are at. And the Clippers, all right, they're in 4th. And they've got, so they're 44-26. They are, let's see, 8 minus. So they're 2.5 games, two and a half games ahead of the Suns. So the Clippers have a little bit more leeway, but the Suns are also playing tonight. And the Suns are playing San Antonio, so the Suns need to win that game. But again, we got the Clippers. They're playing the Pacers. It's going to be a freaking dogfight, in my opinion. I would like the Pacers I would probably take the Pacers without doing any research. I would take the Pacers at +6 because Pacers kept it up with the Lakers last night. I don't remember what the game score ended at, but it was a great game. Dogfight, the shots up everywhere, just shots flying all around. It seemed like the Pacers from the beginning of the season where they gave up 150 points a game. And what that is, as you can see last night, let me share this one. As you can see last night, they played the Lakers and they scored. It was 295 points across the board. I'm sorry for itching my nose so much too. My nose is kind of running. I'm actually, side note, real quick, I'll ADD myself and get off the subject for 1 second. I'm currently in the process of moving everything in my apartment. As you can tell, it's just a mess right now. So I've got dust and everything's flying around. Critters are probably crawling out of places that hadn't crawled out of in years. So excuse me for kind of scratching my nose and kind of sniffing a little bit. But anyway, back to the Pacers and the Lakers. I think it's going to be a shootout tonight. And in my opinion, there's one guy on the Clippers that's got a fantastic look to proceed in helping with the shootout. And he goes by the name of Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann, shooting guard, 0 days arrest. Give this a second to load. My Wi-Fi is acting up, probably because I moved my laptop. All right. Terrence frickin' Mann. Terrence frickin' Mann. Look at this guy. So, you can see on the right side of the screen, green means good, red means bad. We got 8 out of 10 green. It's a little bit skewed because Terrence Mann doesn't average that many points, but okay, 8 out of 10 on that side. We'll take it with a grain of salt. On this side, need to go last 10. I'm sorry, last 10. Terrence Mann, 5 for 10. So that's 50%. He's putting up 7.5 shots. He's putting up 3 3-pointers, making about 1 a game. His line is 8.5 at -128. You're kind of looking at this and you're going to say, ooh, that's kind of ugly. Because I agree. It's not the prettiest sight known to man. But one thing to really note, the Pacers defense. Austin Reeves, 25. Brandon Ponskaminski, 13. Jaden Ivey, 15. I think that's Chris Levert, 23. Cam Thomas, who's 22. But, I mean, look at this guy. Alex freaking Caruso put up 23. Alex Caruso averages 10 a game. So the Pacers, their defense is slacking. In my opinion, I think their defense is starting to slack more because they need to shoot the ball. They're like, we need shots up. We need shots firing because we need to win the game. And the only way to win is score. So, again, fantastic defensive matchup for Terrence Mann tonight, in my opinion. He's also going to be going against this guy, Ben Shepherd, who is absolutely garbage, in my opinion, at defense. So we got a good look there on the defensive side. But one thing to point out, both teams, two plus two, both teams 1-1. Both teams are on 0 days rest. 0 days rest. And you know me, I don't really particularly mess with that very often unless I find this kind of variance. Terrence Mann, 0 days rest this season. He's averaging 11 points. He's hit his line 8 out of 10 times. The 2 games he didn't hit his line. One of the games he only played 19 minutes versus the Bucks. This game versus Oklahoma City kind of blew out. So he's shooting 8.5 field goals a game. If he makes half of them, that's 8. We need 1 free throw and 1 3-pointer. He's going to get us 1 free throw tonight, and he's going to put up 3 to 3.5 3-point shots. So with everything that I've mentioned with him being on 0 days rest, he's going to put up 8.5 shots, almost 9. He's going to make 1 free throw, at least 1 free throw. He's going to shoot 2, but he's going to make 1. And he's going to put up 3 to 3.5 3-pointers. He should make 1 with all that. That's four makes. That's 8 points. That's 1 free throw. That's 9. Let's say he makes a 3-pointer. That's 10. That's 10 just on Terrence Mann. But then you took everything that I said at the beginning about the defense. And, I mean, in my opinion, these guys are putting up 14 shots this position, 14 shots a game. And you can include this one right here because he put up 35, but he put up 2. So that 2 shot it all the way down. So, again, with everything going, Clippers need a win. Pacers need a win. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a shootout. Nobody's going to be playing defense. They're both on 0 days rest. Over-unders at 233, which is pretty good. I think they could skyrocket past that. But for what we're doing, I'm going to lock it in. We got Terrence Mann, shooting guard. Terrence Mann over. He's shooting guard for Clippers over 8.5 points. Now, I will say this. The line, some books already have it open at 9. FanDuel might close it. So FanDuel might not have it open at 9. I mean, at 8.5 for much longer. Let me see if the line has moved. So it hadn't moved yet. But some books have it at 9.5 at plus money. Here's my only take on that. Whenever you move the line to 10, it really changes some of the variance in it. So he's hit 9 here, he's hit 9 here, he's hit 9 here. So that's 3 times. That's three games you're losing by taking 10 plus versus playing the juice at 8.5. I don't mind playing up and not playing the juice, but in my opinion, if you're going to take this Terrence Mann pick, play the juice at 8.5. And I'm going to write that down, Terrence Mann, and I'm going to write down play the juice. Because I don't like the 9.5 as much as I like the 8.5. All right. Let's see here. We got about 10, 15 minutes left. All right, no, that's good. We're going to wrap these up. Well, these are going to be the plays, the 3 we'll have, and then we're going to do a parlay real quick. All right. Picks. And if anybody, again, so we're about to be getting into our last part of the stream. So if anybody has any parlay picks, NBA strictly, we're doing NBA today. If anybody has any parlay picks, the goal is we're going to take 3 picks. The goal is to get to plus 1,000 or higher. And again, these are 0.1. So this is 0.1% of your bankroll. It's 1% of your bankroll. So, if you bet $50, if you bet, $100 a play, it's 10%. So if you bet 100, this is 10. If you're betting 50, this is 5. If you're betting $25 a play, this is $2.50. These are plays that very, very easily you can get greedy. You can lose your ass. You can lose your entire bankroll. This is important where bankroll management is very important because these are slot machine casino pools. They're there for fun. Don't get me wrong. We hit them. We do. We've hit 6 or 7 or 8 this year since January. But the way that you stay ahead of the curve is you don't say, oh man, I can put $10 on this one to win whatever X amount. Because the more money you put, the better and better and better it looks. And again, parlays are all about very smart bankroll management. Now, for these, I'm not going to lie, I already cheated. I found, Cade Cunningham must have gone out. Okay, well, I'm not going to lie. I kind of already cheated. I looked earlier this morning because I had some time. And I am not going to lie. You guys are really going to like what I think I have up here. So we're still going to go through them together. But this is what I have up right now. Jalen Green, 4+ assists at plus 150. Tobias Harris at plus 135. Devin Booker at plus 175. So, again, I kind of already cheated, but we're still going to go through each one. So, first one, we're going to do Jalen Green at 4+ assists. So, we're going to go to the Houston game. Houston's playing Portland. And we got Jalen Green. Let's see. Jalen Green for Houston. And then we got him for 4+ assists. All right, got that pulled up. So, 4+ assists for Jalen Green. All right, we're going to move this to 4+. All right, so again, whenever we're doing lotto picks, 50%, if we can get to 50% on the variant side, we'll take it. But if we can't, we don't mind being around 40 or 30%. Again, these are slot machine pools. These are not something you lose sleep over. These are something for fun and just something that, again, we haven't hit one of these yet either, but we will soon. We've been 2 out of 3 or 4 times. But anyway, all right, assists, 4+. So he's 4 out of 10 in the last 10. Defense against is 6 out of 10. If you look at the matchups, he's 7 out of 10, so we gained 1 extra one on the matchups. One thing I like about him is that in the matchups, the last 5, they're 4 out of 5. One of those being Jalen Green on the 8th. He dropped 5 assists versus them on the 8th. And so, again, we want him for 4. I don't need him for 5. I need him for 4. So if you look at his potential assists, his last 10, it's 4. It says 4.5, but that's going to be a little bit skewed because we don't have this one. So I'm going to round it up to 5. So we're looking at 4 out of 5. So he needs to be about an 80%, which is kind of asking a lot. But in my opinion, he can kind of do it. He's right here, 3 out of 6, 2 out of 5, 5 out of 8, 3 for 3, 5 for 5, 2 for 4, 4 for 6, 3 for 3, 3 for 5. And I don't know what this one was. It was probably a 4 for 5 or a 4 for 4. And then if we look at him versus Portland. So his versus Portland, the only thing that kind of stuck out was the recency of the one on March 8th, whenever he had 5, but he had 8 potential. And so the potential kind of stood out to me because I was like, okay, that's kind of, he doesn't usually average that many potential. And whenever he does, he's usually around the 60% mark on hitting. Even at 50% is even good. So if he's going to get us 8, 50% of 8 is 4. So that's kind of how I came up with my 4, just in a nutshell right there. And then again, his points, you could take his points as well too, but it seems to me the defense on this side kind of shuts him down a little bit more. We look at him at home, 5 for 10, 50%. So, again, Jalen Green, overall, after everything, the variance we get is going to be about 47 to 48%. And so we went ahead and took that. So that's going to be the first one. I'm going to add it in right here. It's going to be Jalen Green. That's going to be 4+ assists. All right. Cool deal. All right, next one we got is going to be in the Sixers game, which, interesting enough, let's check out the Sixers and see where they're at. I didn't actually look at the Sixers in the standings. So let's see here. They're in 8th. So they're pretty locked in for the play-in tournament, I will say. The 39 and 32, they are about 5, 6, 7, 8. They're about 7.5 games ahead of Atlanta. So they'd have to go on a huge skid at the same time while Atlanta going on a massive, going up. So, I mean, they're in a decent spot for the play-in. But again, they're just half a game out of 6th place. Same with the Heat. They're all right there. We have a tight race right there in the East. So that's why we kind of went with the 76ers game. And we did Tobias Harris. I think it was 20-plus points. Let me see. Yeah, it was Tobias Harris, 20-plus points. So we check it out right here. In my opinion, people are going to be on Tyrese Maxey tonight. But Tyrese Maxey ain't. I mean, I was even kind of on Tyrese Maxey at first. It's kind of the obvious move. But I looked at Tyrese Maxey on 0 days rest. He's only hit this line one time, and it was in October. So I don't take 1 for 9 bets. Sorry. He might, and he very well, look, Tyrese Maxey could score 100 tonight. But in my opinion, I don't give a shit. If he does it, good for him. But I just can't, based on what I do in my numbers and my investing, I can't pull the trigger on that. What I can do is look at Tobias Harris for 20-plus. Once it slows and my Wi-Fi figures it out, okay. I can look at him for 20-plus. Let me move the line here. So we're looking at for 20-plus. He's 4 out of his last 10. He's putting up about 15.5 shots a game. So with putting up 15.5 shots, we need him to make 9. 8 or 9, probably 9, because his free throws he's averaging about 2 a game. So he's not and he's actually not at the foul line every game. So again, I'm not really counting on free throws very, very much. It's mainly points, is 2 points and 3-pointers. And his 3-pointers, again, Vegas is giving you 1.5 at plus 112. So they're not even giving you that good of a look on his 3-pointers. But again, I could take him for 1. So, we look at him on 0 days rest. He does all right. We look at him on the road. He does all right. But it's more about the volume. And then, but this is kind of where this is the one that really, 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 really stuck out to me. So Tobias Harris versus Sacramento, he puts up 16.5 shots, but his points 22, 29, 16, 21, 17, 37. So I can't guarantee a single thing in sports gambling, but I can tell you one thing. Tobias Harris for 15-plus points is a real good look if you needed a long shot. I mean, like a high-value lotto. I mean, like a ladder pick, or if you were taking, -4 or 500s and put them together. Because Tobias Harris for 15-plus looks great. Because, I mean, he's going to put up at least, he's putting up 15 shots tonight, in my opinion. And, Sacramento, Tobias Harris, he has their number. This is kind of a hockey play. And for a lotto, I can do this and feel more confident than playing him for his straight. Because, again, this is more of a personal vendetta, in my opinion. We've talked about it multiple times before. But some guys have, in what I call, I use a variance of what I call a personal vendetta. They just destroy the team they play. And as you can tell right here, Tobias Harris indeed does destroy Sacramento. He's done it since 2021. So that's 3 years of research and knowledge that we have on this guy versus them. And so for that reason, I'm very inclined to take him for 20-plus. So that's going to bring, let me put him in the ticker. It's going to be Tobias Harris, 20-plus points. And I'm going to take off the NBA plays. If anybody's just joining in and you want the NBA plays, just let me know, and I can definitely put them back up. All right, moving on to the third and final one. That is going to be in the Suns games. We mentioned the Suns earlier. Another must-win game tonight for the Suns. They're playing San Antonio, and I think the Suns were on the edge of sixth place. So the Suns were right on the edge of sixth place. So again, that's kind of something that the Suns are in a game that they need to win, and they're playing an opponent that they should win in the San Antonio Spurs. So we had Devin Booker for 6+ rebounds. So we're going to look at him here for 6. All right, so he's 6 out of his last 10 for 6+ rebounds. Starting point guards out of the last 10, they're 5 out of 10 the last 10. Assist is also very high as well, too. Maybe taking Booker for an RA play as well at 11.5 wouldn't be a bad move. But for the parlay, we're looking at his rebounds at 6+ versus San Antonio. So again, I see all the red. I know it's a lot of red up top, but this year is what's important to me because Wemby was a part of the team, and since Wemby has been a part of the team, they still suck, but he adds an extra layer of difficulty across the board, in my opinion. Just an extra, that extra layer of something there. And so, as you can tell, this year he went 9 rebounds and 7 rebounds. 17 chances, and then we don't have the chances for this one. Sometimes they mess up and we don't get it. But that was also last game. They're playing them back-to-back games. What do I see a lot on guys that play back-to-back games against the same freaking team? It's going to be the same freaking box score. I say, is it going to be the same? No, I'm not telling you it's going to be the same one. But I think that Booker's going to get us 6 rebounds. He got us 7, and then got us 9 earlier in the year. So I like Booker. I like Booker for 6+. And again, these are strictly for fun. If we win, we win. If we don't lose any sleep over them. So again, 10% of what you normally bet. If it's $50, that's $2 for $5.50. If it's 25, that's $2.25. Drop it down. Make sure you play these smart because again, these are slot machine pools. But again, the look that Booker has tonight against the team that he just did against a couple days ago, I like a repeat game for him. And so for that, we're gonna lock it in. Let me pull up FanDuel and share this with you guys. Let's see here. All right. Should be able to read this. All right, so parlay is done. We have Jalen Green plus 150, and that's going to be 4+ assists. And then we got Tobias Harris for 20+ points, and that's at plus 135. And then we got Devin Booker for 6+ rebounds, and that's going to be at plus 175. And you can find all these on FanDuel as well, too. And that's going to be it. If any of you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, anything, please let me know at Catching Cash Bets at Twitter. Join our Discord. I'm Saggy Bills at Twitter. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let us know in the chat. Let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this up for another minute or so to give you guys a chance to go ahead and get this in. This brings a total to around plus 15, baby. Again, I'm feeling good about this one. We haven't hit one yet, but we've gone 2 for 3 a bunch. And so we're kind of looking to go ahead and cash in on one whenever we can. And this is, in my opinion, a fantastic look to get us going. Again, overall, if you took the NBA plays, I recommend to drop your variance just a little bit, maybe $5 or $10 or 5 or 10%, whatever you prefer, because we are getting to that part of the NBA season where it's getting a little bit difficult. But other than that, everybody out there, you have a wonderful and gorgeous rest of your Monday. And remember, March Madness is going to be here on Wednesday. Tune in. We're going to be going over the entire slate, and we will have a special guest who might be bringing on a little bit something spicy, a little bit something different. Maybe if you guys have ever heard of tennis. I don't know. Stay tuned. Wednesday, 12:30 Central. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.